In 1945, on the 20th of November, the world did something it had never done before. It put the leaders of a defeated regime on trial, not for losing a war, but for crimes against humanity. This was the beginning of the Nuremberg War Crimes Trials. World War II had just ended. Europe was in ruins. Over 60 million people were dead, and the full horror of Nazi concentration camps was finally visible to the world. The question was simple. What do you do with the people responsible? Instead of executions or revenge, the Allied powers chose something radical. They chose justice. In the German city of Nuremberg, inside a heavily guarded courtroom, 24 top Nazi officials were brought before an international tribunal. Among them were Martin Bormann, Hans Frank, Hermann Göring, and many more. These men were not soldiers on the battlefield. They were the architects of genocide and war. For the first time in history, leaders were charged under international law for actions taken by a government. Did you know? The Nuremberg Trials were the first major trial in history to use real-time simultaneous translation in 4 languages. The defendants faced 4 major charges: crimes against peace, planning and starting aggressive war; war crimes, violating the rules of warfare; crimes against humanity, murder, extermination, enslavement; and conspiracy, working together to commit these crimes. One defense was used over and over again. I was just following orders. The court rejected it. The trials lasted nearly a year. In the end, 12 defendants were sentenced to death. 3 received life imprisonment. 4 received prison sentences. 3 were acquitted. 1 was tried in absentia, and 1 more, Robert Ley, committed suicide in prison before the trial began. But the real verdict wasn't just about punishment. The trials established a powerful principle. No one is above the law, not even heads of state. This idea would reshape international justice forever. The Nuremberg trials led directly to the Geneva Conventions, the concept of genocide as a crime, and the creation of the International Criminal Court decades later. They proved that atrocities could be documented, judged, and remembered. On this day in 1945, the world chose accountability over revenge and justice over silence. The Nuremberg trials didn't erase the horrors of the past, but they sent a message to the future. History is watching. This was the first major trial in history to use translation. The court operated in English, German, French, and Russian. Interpreters worked in soundproof booths. Defendants wore headphones and could choose a language channel. Justice at Nuremberg was so unprecedented, they had to invent modern courtroom translation just to make it work. The prosecution didn't rely mainly on witness testimony. They used the Nazis' own obsessive record-keeping. Orders, memos, transport lists. Signed documents detailing executions. Even films made by the Nazis themselves. The evidence was so overwhelming that history itself took the stand. Hermann Göring, Hitler's right-hand man, was sentenced to death by hanging. But hours before his execution, he committed suicide using a hidden cyanide capsule. No one knows exactly how he smuggled it in. Some believe a guard helped him. Others think he had it hidden since his capture. It remains one of the great mysteries of the trials. Even in defeat, Göring sheeted the gallows. At Nuremberg, the world declared that power does not erase responsibility. Thanks for watching. See you next time.